welcome. You're watching the national debate. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Even as we speak, the voting has just concluded in Rajasthan, which means that finally one more state is left, and then we'll be counting down to the 3rd of December. And in the end, what has largely been a silent election so far seems to be culminating in the fight for that traditional theme. Who will the Indian Muslim vote for? The final two states which went to the hustings, Rajasthan and Telangana, are the states which have a substantial and a decisive Muslim population. And the worry so far has been that when this vote gets split, it is only the Bharatiya Janata Party that stands to benefit. So are we going again in that direction? Three main developments have taken place which has given rise to this speculation again. One, the threatening video of Akbaruddin Owaisi in Hyderabad, where he was campaigning for the Telangana Assembly elections. Two, the fact that the beheading of Kanhaiya Lal and the free run given to so-called radical and anti-national elements, which is spoken of again and again and again on the election trail by the Bharatiya Janata Party in the final days of the Rajasthan campaign. And three, a renewed push for Mandir politics, which has become more vocal in the last 1 week. Of course, the Ram Mandir inauguration date was already announced, but then the Prime Minister went to Braj, he went to Mathura Janmabhoomi, to Krishna Janmabhoomi, and again the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh was not just in Ayodhya, but also spoke about it repeatedly in states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. So, who is the Indian Muslim going to vote for? That boils down to the central question in the final leg. Joining us on the national debate today, Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP, Harshvardhan Tripathi, senior journalist, Gaurav Chachra, spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, lawyer Kapil Madan, Tanvir Aeijaz, professor in Ramjas College in Delhi University, and senior journalist Ashutosh. As always, we begin with the non-political voices. As of today, do you think, Ashutosh ji, that Muslims have decided that they are going to continue to consolidate behind the Congress, or are the regional parties still a draw for them?
Let me begin by saying this. So why we don't ask a question whom the Hindus will vote? We ask a question whom the Muslims will vote. I think this question itself is a little bit problematic, but since you have asked the question, I think it's very clear the Muslims of the country since 2014 and before that, maybe they have taken a conscious decision not to defeat BJP. They can go to any political party which is in a position to defeat. Take the case, the recent surge which has been seen in favor of the Congress party, especially in North India, in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, in Karnataka, and also in Telangana. That shows that they have seen some kind of hope from the Congress party. This is the party which can defeat BJP. In Telangana, the Muslims have been voting for the BRS, and they have also been voting to the OIC. But now they see it that the OIC is basically harming Muslims' interest. And OIC is not in a position to do anything. And in fact, OIC is one, MIM is one political party which has been given monstrously disproportionate coverage for no rhyme and reason. They claim to be talking about the Muslims issues. In Telangana, Muslims are comprised of 12.57%, 12.75% vote share. How much the MIM has got last time? 2.75%. So the political party which talks about the Muslims and project as if they are fighting for the Muslims, even they are not acceptable as a Muslim for the Muslims in Telangana itself. There's a huge gap of 10% vote share between the presence of Muslims in Telangana and the percentage of vote they get. And how many seats they win? 7. There are how many seats in Telangana assembly election? 119. Why we see overseas all the time?
Because they don't contest all the seats in Telangana. They contest only a limited number of seats. This time they are contesting only 9.
So if they are so good and so powerful, why they don't
because
contest?
They have an arrangement with the BRS.
No.
They help the BRS get the Muslim vote in other seats.
Why the BRS is not contesting 7 seats only? Because BRS is more powerful. So MIM is forget about powerful. MIM is a has very tiny political presence even in Telangana.
So are you saying that the Congress is now undisputed leader of the Muslim vote?
Absolutely no doubt about it. In Telangana.
Harshvardhan ji. No, nationally also. If
nationally also.
Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh.
With a small caveat, like in a state like UP, where the Congress has a negligible presence. Muslim voter can go to Samajwadi Party.
Okay, Harshvardhan ji, now the Congress has managed to have this gamble pay off where they are saying we are the undisputed saviors of the Muslims from the BJP.
नहीं, बिल्कुल पद्मजा, मैं इससे सहमत हूं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी मुसलमानों की प्राथमिकता में नंबर 1 पार्टी, और जब नेशनल इलेक्शंस की बात होती है तो पहले भी नंबर 1 पार्टी रही थी, लेकिन चूंकि हिंदी पट्टी के 2 बड़े राज्य उत्तर प्रदेश और बिहार, वहां कांग्रेस पार्टी अपनी लीडरशिप की वजह से, अपनी पोजीशनिंग की वजह से, और एक बात होती है ना, हम लोग कई बार कहते हैं कि अगर आप किसी के पीछे पीछे चलेंगे तो उससे आगे नहीं निकल सकते, और कितना पीछे चले जाएंगे, जो हुआ उत्तर प्रदेश में, जो हुआ बिहार में, आज लालू प्रसाद यादव जी के पीछे, तेजस्वी के पीछे, और अब मुलायम सिंह के बाद अखिलेश यादव के पीछे, ये कांग्रेस पार्टी की नियति बन गई। लेकिन मेरा ये मानना है भारतीय जनता पार्टी को हराने के लिए मुसलमानों को बहुत साफ दिखता है कि एक पार्टी है जिसका नाम है कांग्रेस। कर्नाटक ने इस थियरी को, इस भरोसे को और ताकत दी है। मुझे लगता है कि ये वो ताकत है जो अगर तेलंगाना में दिखी, जैसे मैं निजी तौर पर मानता हूं कि तेलंगाना में केसीआर जीत रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्होंने जितना मुसलमानों के लिए स्कीम्स की हैं, फिर भी जो यहां वाले अभी सोच रहे हैं हिंदी पट्टी वाले, वो उससे बहुत आगे जा चुके, कई डिग्री आगे। अगर वो मतलब जिसको कहते हैं ना कि बहुत जीतेंगे भी तो बड़ी मुश्किल से जीत रहे हैं, उसके पीछे वजह यह है कि मुसलमानों का एक बड़ा वर्ग है जो उधर जा रहा है, और अकबरुद्दीन ओवैसी का बयान वो डेस्परेशन दिखा रहा है, वो बता रहा है कि देखिए हम मुश्किल में फंस गए।
तो देन इट इज स्मार्ट फॉर द कांग्रेस,
बिल्कुल निश्चित तौर पर, और मुझे
किस तरीके से इनको वो करेंगे,
और कांग्रेस पार्टी वही कर भी रही है। आप फिलिस्तीन यानी गजा और इजराइल के बीच का जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, हमास और इजराइल के बीच का जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, क्या उस पे इतना लाउड कांग्रेस पार्टी कभी हुई है? कभी हुई है?
नहीं हुई। क्लियरली प्रियंका गांधी
वाड्रा सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट, और सोनिया गांधी जी को एक अखबार में बाकायदा एडिटोरियल लिखना पड़ता, ऑपेड लिखना पड़ता, यानी उनको पता है कि हमारा मुस्लिम मतदाता कंफ्यूजन में नहीं होना चाहिए, हम सबसे आगे हैं, दुनिया के किसी हिस्से में मुसलमान पीड़ित है तो कांग्रेस उसके साथ है, वरना देश नीति की बात करेंगे तो विदेश नीति में तो हमारा देश भी कह रहा है कि हम जहां पीड़ित है मुसलमान उनके साथ हैं।
ओके, वेयर डज दैट लीव द बीजेपी, सिद्धार्थ यादव? बिकॉज it's a sizable vote and this is just the preliminary set of elections. Come 2024, if a 14% national Muslim vote is going to consolidate behind the Congress, then it's huge trouble for you.
No,
you will have to keep dealing with Dalit vote, Thakur vote, Brahman vote, OBC vote, but they have one vote, 14%.
No, I think this is not the first time that we are hearing this analysis. This was told to us in 2014, this was told to us in 2019. Still, we managed large majority. I think largest for past 3 decades. We made a government which is working for everybody. We gave a nara, sabka saath, sabka vikas. No matter what, whatever you say.
Electorally, I don't think the facts bear out that there was the kind of consolidation that is going to happen now, or that could happen now, has ever happened before. In 2019, the Muslim vote was split. In 2014, the Muslim vote was split. There were many people vying for the same pie. There was the RJD also, there was the Samajwadi Party also, there was the TMC also. State-wise, everyone was vying for the same pie.
Again, I think, it's going to be a matter of analysis after 24, when again the Modi government will be formed, and we'll be discussing again that if there was a consolidation at all, then why did the results come in this manner, that again BJP is coming with a thumping majority, is coming again with a clear majority above 300. But if I have to come down to the politics behind appeasement and politics behind minorities, I think there's a very basic difference, and that difference is of welfare politics and of vote bank politics. All of this, what is done, is not for welfare. It is definitely for vote bank. That is what we are discussing. We are not concerned about the welfare of the minorities, or if I have to say it clearly, the welfare for the Muslims. We are discussing the vote bank of the Muslims. The 14% Muslims, what we can do to woo them so that they come to us, they vote us, and everybody is in a competition to show that we are the masihas of Muslims and you have to come out and support us, because we are the only one who have to come out. And when Bharatiya Janata Party brings out the triple talaq, which actually gives relief to half of the Muslim population, we are communal. This is the definition of Rahul Gandhi, definition of entire opposition, Congress party of secularism is unacceptable. Now, Rahul Gandhi, which has to go to Wayanad, I'll just complete in 10 seconds, who has to go to Wayanad and to ensure that he wins in a constituency which is dominated by Muslims, he has to say that Muslim League was secular.
Fair,
If Muslim
Siddharth
League is
Yadav,
secular, then we don't want to be secular in his definition.
Okay, Siddharth, let's just be blunt. The fact of the matter is that today the Muslims are voting against anyone who can decisively defeat the BJP. All this welfare can come later. They are basically saying BJP ko kaun harayega? Who has the guts and the wherewithal to stand up to the BJP? And they are saying that by dividing ourselves, and in Bengal we give to TMC, in UP we give to Samajwadi Party, we are defeating our own purpose. So they're saying Congress can do it. Let's vote for Congress. That is the hard and fast rule.
Padmaja, I think I might sound very hopeful, but I think it's just a matter of time that this continues. After a point of time, the Muslims of this country, every community of this country will realize that it is only the Bharatiya Janata Party which is working for every citizen of this country. There will be a point when we go beyond this entire vote bank politics, the entire minority politics, and I'm not saying that 100% of the people will do that, but the majority inside Muslims also will realize that this appeasement has to end, and this, we don't care. We are working for the country, we are working for the people, we don't care.
But ultimately you will need the votes.
And we are getting the votes, and we will get the votes.
But
I'll tell you why we'll get the votes. Because when you are standing with the truth, when you are unapologetic of what your country is, when we go down, our Prime Minister went down to the Krishna Janmabhoomi. They said it's a communal card. That is the problem. We'll continue to do it. We'll continue to unapologetically reclaim the Indian traditions, reclaim what India stands for, and with that the country will stand, no matter what kind of politics the Congress and the entire opposition wants to do.
We will just come to Krishna Janmabhoomi and Ram Janmabhoomi in a second, but I want to ask you this, Tanvir Aeijaz. Do you think that the Muslim community sees to this kind of tokenism, saying, vote for us, we will save you. Vote for us as a bloc if you want to defeat the BJP. Ultimately, they will go, as the BJP argues, to people who will work for their welfare.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate in political mobilization that takes place, particularly before the election, is that, Muslims are seen as a major chunk, as if that they are the homogeneous voters. They vote homogeneously, but it's not true, right? In the states where it is a binary kind of fight between Congress and BJP, of course, for Muslims, the target is very clear that they are going to vote for Congress. But, when they had left Congress after this 1991, where Mandal and Mandir, a new kind of Hindutva started. So they were kind of confused at that point of time, and political parties, of course, used them as a trump card in their political mobilization. So what I understand is that, yes, over these last couple of decades, now, since 2019, there is a perceptible shift in Muslim votes towards Congress, wherever there is a binary kind of fight. But they are now thinking in terms of moving to Congress, where there is more than two parties fighting elections, or where the regional parties are strong. So in Telangana, there has been a perceptible shift as far as the whole analysis goes, that the Muslims are shifting towards Congress.
But what do you make of this argument of the BJP, that ultimately people will see that our benefit is in voting for a party that works for us, doesn't just treat us as a vote bank?
It's a very relative term, actually. Who is working for whom is a very relative term.
They say, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, we are giving you scholarship.
That's a huge rhetoric. That's a huge rhetoric, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. When you look into the ground, particularly even what BRS is doing about all the welfare schemes, if you look at the ground, whether it reaches to Muslims or not, when Congress comes up with welfare schemes, whether those reach to the Muslims or not, when BJP talks about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, whether it reaches to Muslims or not, look at the scholarship, minority bashing, and a lot of things are there when you talk about the BJP taking care of Muslims. In fact, BJP had reached out to Pasmandas. Time and again, they reach out to Pasmandas, but then it is very clear that it's a big rhetoric. It's a big rhetoric. It's a big slogan. Muslims, as far as Pasmandas are concerned, they have never been incorporated. As far as their representation in parties are concerned, as far as their representation in political institutions are concerned, as far as their representation in bureaucracy, academia, all these. You see, where the things are working on the ground, it's not working.
There's a lot of difference between slogan and reality. हर्षवर्धन जी, आप क्या कहेंगे? और ये मैसेज नहीं जाता है लोगों के पास.
पद्मजा, मुझे बड़ा आश्चर्य हो रहा है. पहली बात तो मैं कहूँगा कि सिद्धार्थ जी, गलतफहमी, खुशफहमी जो भी कह लीजिए, तो अभी वो खुशफहमी आप लोग पालिए, मुसलमानों का वोट तो आपको नहीं मिलने वाला। ये मैंने पहले कहा था, अभी तनवीर भाई ने उसे साबित कर दिया। कैसे साबित किया? भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार में, नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार में स्कीम्स जो हैं उसमें जो उनका घोर विरोधी है वो भी नहीं कहता कि जो जिसको मिलना चाहिए वो नहीं मिल रहा है। उनकी स्कीम्स कौन सी हैं? घर दे रहे हैं। उनकी स्कीम्स कौन सी हैं? शौचालय दे रहे हैं। उनकी स्कीम्स कौन सी हैं? वो मुद्रा योजना दे रहे हैं। उनकी स्कीम्स कौन सी हैं? वो बिजली पहुंचा रहे हैं। उनकी स्कीम्स कौन सी हैं? वो जल से नल पहुंचा रहे हैं। इनमें से किसी स्कीम में 2011 के सेंसस के अलावा दूसरा कोई पैरामीटर नहीं है। और 2011 का जो सेंसस है वो यूपीए के दौरान हुआ था, उसमें जो हिंदू मुस्लिम जाति उसके आधार पर। पहली बात। दूसरी बात यह कि जब यह कहा जाता है कि बीजेपी रिप्रेजेंटेशन नहीं दे रही, पॉलिटिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन, उत्तर प्रदेश का मैं हूं, बिहार है, बिहार में जनता दल यूनाइटेड नहीं दे पाई, शहनवाज हुसैन को भारतीय जनता पार्टी मंत्री बना देती है। यहां भी एक मुस्लिम को, पसमानदा मुस्लिम को ले आती है और वो मंत्री बना देती है, एमएलसी बना के। आप सोचिए कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को भी ये चिंता है, लेकिन क्या ये चिंता है? यूनुस खान को टिकट देने के बाद वो हार जाते हैं, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी इस बार किसी को टिकट नहीं देती। बहुत क्लैरिटी है। मुझे लगता है आप जब पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रेटजी बनाते हैं और गवर्नेंस स्ट्रेटजी बनाते हैं, दोनों में बहुत डिफरेंस होता है। बीजेपी इस बात को, नरेंद्र मोदी अच्छे से समझते हैं।
ओके, समाजवादी पार्टी से मैं जानना चाहती हूं कि अगर कांग्रेस सारा मुस्लिम वोट लेकर के चली जाती है, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग डेवलपमेंट हैपेंड व्हिच लार्जली वाज अंडर द रेडार।
इसमें पद्मजा एक लाइन जोड़ दूं, कांग्रेस नहीं कर पाई वो इसीलिए रीजनल पार्टीज के पास मुस्लिम वोट गया, क्योंकि उनकी स्कीम्स जो थी, जो वो कह रहे हैं वो सही कह रहे हैं कि उनकी जो स्कीम थी नहीं पहुंची, लेकिन बीआरएस की स्कीम यानी केसीआर की स्कीम मुसलमानों तक नहीं पहुंची, ऐसा मैं नहीं मानता।
और अब कांग्रेस कोशिश कर रही है इन उत्तर प्रदेश टू अगेन रिक्लेम दैट ग्राउंड फ्रॉम द समाजवादी पार्टी। हाउ, व्हाट हैज हैपेंड इन द रीसेंट पास्ट? अजय राय, आफ्टर बीइंग मेड द स्टेट प्रदेश कमेटी प्रदेश कांग्रेस चीफ, वो सीधे किसके पास गए? आजम खान। आजम खान जेल में थे, अखिलेश जी एक बार उनसे मिलने नहीं गए। जब आजम खान छूटे तो कौन उनसे मिलने गया? अजय राय। द क्वेश्चन इज दैट Muslims in that area, and that is largely the Muslim dominated area, जो आजम खान का रामपुर अपना इलाका है, आपका खुद आजमगढ़ वगैरह है, large Muslim population, they are saying कि भाई we should start rethinking। आपने हमें for granted लेकर के रखा हुआ है, कांग्रेस आकर के पूछ तो रही है।
देखिए, पहली बात तो कांग्रेस के साथ कंपेयर करना उत्तर प्रदेश में समाजवादी पार्टी का बहुत ही गलत रहेगा। उनका तो पूरा संगठन भी नहीं है उत्तर प्रदेश में। समाजवादी पार्टी उत्तर प्रदेश की नंबर 1 पार्टी बीजेपी के बाद, और देख लीजिएगा चुनाव में भी यही हाल होना। और मुस्लिम वोट की बात रही, मुस्लिम वोट हमेशा समाजवादी पार्टी का रहा है, समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ ही रहेगा। और अगर मैं बीजेपी की बात करूं, मुस्लिम वोट हमेशा आज तक आप देख लीजिए सिनेरियो एंटी बीजेपी रहा है, क्योंकि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने हमेशा मुसलमानों के साथ अन्याय किया, अत्याचार किया। कभी वो उनको चिन्हित करके झूठे मुकदमों को उनको फंसा दिया करते हैं। आजम खान साहब की बात लेने तो उन पे भी देख लीजिए आप, मुर्गी चोरी, किताब चोरी, ऐसे ऐसे झूठे मुकदमे करके उनको फंसाया गया। उसके बाद जब उनका चुनाव आया, जब चुनाव उनके जीतने की भूमिका बन रही थी, तभी देखिए आप चुनाव वाले दिन ही सुबह 4 बजे से
तो आप नहीं गए ना, गई तो कांग्रेस।
समाजवादी पार्टी आजम खान साहब के साथ है।
और उनका दर्द तो छलका था जब वो अस्पताल में थे, उन्होंने
हमेशा समाजवादी पार्टी हमेशा माननीय आजम खान साहब के साथ रही है, आगे भी रहेगी।
दूर से वो
हमारे राष्ट्रीय महासचिव है,
दूर से
नहीं हमारे साथ में, हम साथ में हैं। वो तो कहने की बात नहीं। देखिए, छल कपट और झूठ की राजनीति जैसे भाजपा कर रही है, वैसे कांग्रेस वाले भी कर रहे हैं। कहीं ना कहीं गुमराह करने की बात कर रहे हैं जनता को, कहीं ना कहीं मुसलमानों को गुमराह करने की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है। पिछड़े दलित अल्पसंख्यक मुस्लिम भाई मिलकर इस बार भारतीय जनता पार्टी का सफाया करने जा रहे हैं।
चाचा जी ये बताइए, हर्षवर्धन जी का मानना है कि जब अकबरुद्दीन ओवैसी भड़क जाते हैं, जब आप ऐसी भाषा बोलते हैं कि कांग्रेस और बीजेपी सेम है मुसलमानों को बहलाने में, ये आपकी डेस्परेशन और डर दिखा रहा है।
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। कहीं ना कहीं हम ये चाह रहे हैं कि आज तक जो गेम चलता आया बीजेपी, जिसमें षड्यंत्र रच के पास होती आई है, तो उस बीजेपी को हम इस बार फेल करेंगे। उनके जो षड्यंत्र
कोई मुसलमान वोट नहीं देने वाला है। आप कांग्रेस की बात बताइए।
कांग्रेस को वोट नहीं मिलने वाला मुसलमानों का वोट भारतीय जनता पार्टी को भी नहीं मिल रहा, कांग्रेस को भी नहीं मिल रहा, सिर्फ और सिर्फ समाजवादी पार्टी को मिलेगा उत्तर प्रदेश में। आप देख लीजिएगा।
ओके, कपिल मदार, रिस्पॉन्ड।
सो Padmaja, I would like to first respond to BJP spokesperson here. He said that we are seeking vote on the basis of your welfare politics, and they are unapologetic about whatever their political discourse is. So I just want to ask him, your own sitting MP from Delhi makes a call for economic boycott of Muslims. What kind of welfare politics are you talking about? How can you say that you are unapologetic, of all these incidents, shameless things that happens? Are you saying that your leaders will continue to bash a particular community, will openly call for an economic boycotts, will openly call कि बटन यहाँ दबाओ और थप्पड़ वहाँ बजे. These kind of statements, remarks have been made consistently. So what kind of welfareism you want to talk about? आप बोल रहे हैं कि आप ट्रिपल तलाक ले आए. चलिए ठीक है, ट्रिपल तलाक के कानून आया, और लेकिन अगर आप एक ओपनली एक कम्युनिटी का इकोनॉमिक बॉयकॉट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो आप किस मुंह से बोल सकते हैं कि आप वेलफेयर के लिए आप कोई डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं करते?
So I think what I said about being unapologetic was not in regard of this, was in regard of the Indian.
Do you admit?
I'm answering your question. Yes. It was in regard of the being unapologetic about the Indian traditions and culture. We are unapologetic that we are making the Ram Mandir happen. We are unapologetic that the Kashi corridor is happening. We are unapologetic that our Prime Minister is going to the Krishna Janmabhoomi. We are unapologetic about all of this. And we will remain to be so. We don't require any tutoring from any political party because this is our principle. This is what we have been working on. We don't. And for votes, please let me respond. For votes, we don't. I'm responding to that.
I'm asking you a very simple question. You said you are unapologetic about our ethos and values. Yes, everyone should be proud of their ethos and values. But I'm asking you a very specific question. Are you today feeling, or you want to apologize for the remark that a sitting MP made?
But Kapil Madam, you are asking the question to the wrong person. See, the BJP, despite their utterances,
I am sorry. No.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
What is the premise of this debate?
Yes.
We are taking it as an assumption that the BJP will get nothing or negligible Muslim votes.
Yeah.
My premise of the debate today is who will get it? Because that is eventually going to be the defining vote which will decide who will be the primary challenger or defeater of the BJP. Respond to the Samajwadi Party because they are saying they will not get it. So they don't care.
No, I
they will reward Viduri because they will not care.
My point is that we are talking about who gets the vote. He made a pitch that, the votes will come on the basis of welfare. They've done
for the entire
party. Now,
yes, they will. Because when Ujjwala is being given, we are not asking the religion, we are not asking the caste.
That is a political rhetoric. We are saying this is not even the debate.
At national level, Padmaja, if you see 2019's data, Congress had more than 19% of the vote. People, entire nation knows that the credible challenger to the BJP at the national level remains a Congress party. I mean, you don't have any other alternative. I mean, all the data suggests this. We saw what happened in Karnataka. We saw what kind of politics they did in Karnataka, where, a state that was known for an IT capital, we saw controversy like hijab happening there. We are seeing controversy like, azan happening in the country. So people know that the credible challenger to the BJP on these issues
fair to say
remains
that today
Congress party.
Congress is now going to occupy the space of the IUML and the AIMIM?
Of course, yes.
You want to turn in the AIMIM?
No. All I am saying is, I am just making one conclusion that sometimes the regional parties do create some kind of a dent, but people have of late started to realize that if they want to challenge the BJP, the only credible alternative remains a Congress party. But yes, I do agree with you.
Here's the question. In order to get that vote, will the Congress also have to rebrand itself? अभी तक जो इनकी छवि थी कि secular छवि, अब इनको थोड़ा I don't know how to put it, slightly or radical होने की जरूरत पड़ेगी.
No,
and is that okay?
I will give you a better word. This is anti-oppression.
It is radical.
You may call it. I would call it is anti-oppression. You may call you want to give a different word, but my understanding would be that if somebody is being oppressed, if somebody is being openly oppressed,
if you leave this oppressed land, you are very much radical because standing just for the community and ignoring anything else.
You are against oppression.
Okay.
You are against oppression.
Okay.
No, I would
here's the question. Don't you think that you have vacated that space and have started your march towards being more radical when, like Harshvardhan ji said, you clearly say that we are on the side of Palestine. When Rahul Gandhi goes abroad and tries to whitewash the Muslim League and calls it a secular party, then are you taking that tilt, and is that tilt okay? Are you comfortable with that tilt?
So let me. If you've taken a Palestine issue, you may remember when a voting happened, when a wall was being constructed at West Bank during Atal Bihari Ji's government. They voted against construction of that wall. They voted against Israel.
Sir,
now my
India
point
has-
is, you
India-
want to
okay. No, you are confusing issues.
You want to take Palestine issue?
No, you are confusing issues. That is not what I was saying at all.
On Palestine's issue.
That is not what I was saying at all. Congress has actually taken a view contrary to what Congress government's stand has been internationally. We have always supported a two-state solution. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, in her utterances, as has Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, taken a contrary view where she has unequivocally expressed support only for Palestine. Mrs. Gandhi, not so much. Mrs. Vadra very clearly has expressed that view. Very quickly, Harshvardhan ji, I want to bring in Ashutosh ji and Siddharth.
पद्मजा, एक तो सबसे पहले मुझे लगता है कि देश में विदेश नीति पर किसी राजनीतिक दल की अपनी राय नहीं हो सकती। वो राय जो होगी वो देश के लिहाज से तय होगी और देश की जनता सरकार चुनती है। सरकार की पॉलिसी वही है जो लंबे समय से चली आ रही है, नेहरू जी के समय से लेकर अभी तक। भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार है, इसका मतलब स्टैंड बदल जाएगा तो हम यहां उसको क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे होते, लेकिन हम सबसे ज्यादा टेररिज्म के विक्टिम हैं। हमें यह खतरा ध्यान में रखना पड़ेगा। और प्रियंका गांधी जी, सोनिया गांधी जी जिस तरह की बात कह रही हैं, उसमें कल को हमारे ऊपर आतंकवादी हमला होगा तो हम शायद उसका जवाब ठीक से नहीं दे पाए। यह बहुत बड़ा खतरा है। मुझे लगता है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी निश्चित तौर पर यह सोच रही है, उसको लग रहा है, उसको जिसको कहते हैं ना कि उसको डिविडेंड मिल चुका है, उसको लग रहा है कि मुसलमानों के मन में कोई भ्रम नहीं रहना चाहिए। और कई बार तो मुझे लगता है जब प्रियंका जी के बैक टू बैक मैंने देखे तो मुझे लगा कि भाई इजराइल में जो लोग मरे या जो बंधक हुए वो भी मनुष्य ही तो है ना, वो भी तो ह्यूमन है। वहां आपकी मानवीय संवेदनाएं कहां चली जाती हैं?
तो आपको लगता है
यही
जाके पॉलिटिकल?
बिल्कुल पूरी तरह से। और आपने जो शब्द इस्तेमाल किया बिल्कुल वो थोड़ा सा रेडिकल हो रहे हैं, या जिसको हम कहें ना कि उस तरफ थोड़ा बढ़ने की कोशिश में शायद उनको अनुमान नहीं है कि वो देश में ज्यादा विभाजन की लकीर खींच रहे हैं।
दो चीजें हैं। एक तो जो फॉरेन पॉलिसी के बारे में कहा गया है, मुझे लगता है कि आई थिंक देयर इज नो डिफरेंस बिटवीन द कांग्रेस एंड द बीजेपी। बोथ आर ऑन द सेम पेज। Mr. Narendra Modi till now has not condemned Hamas by name from the first tweet till this date. BJP and the Congress both are supporting Palestinians, and both of them are condemning the terrorist act on October 7th.
Actually, Mrs. Vadra hasn't a single time condemned the Hamas or the terror attack.
I'm saying, let me know. Has the Prime Minister of India condemned Hamas by name?
He has condemned the terror attack. Mrs. Vadra hasn't even condemned terror attack.
I'm saying, has the Prime Minister by name condemned Hamas? No, not till this date. अब अभी दो मिनट पहले कुछ हो गया तो बात अलग है। So on the issue of Palestine, the BJP and the Congress are the same, and that's what the national policy is on the foreign policy. Forget about it. The main debate. I think the main debate is today, in my opinion, आप तनवीर साहब मुझसे अलहदा बात रख सकते हैं। Muslim voters has lost its relevance. Today there are two kinds of voters. One, pro-BJP voter and the pro-Hindu, anti-BJP voters. So today the fight is not between whether the Muslims are voting for the BJP or the Muslims are voting for the Congress. Today the fight is, and the party will win, which can get Hindu voters. Those who do not subscribe to the BJP and RSS brand of politics. The brand of Hindutva.
But sir,
so let just 30 seconds. There is a sizable section there is an overwhelming section of Hindus who oppose BJP's politics of Hindutva. BJP only get 37% votes here. And that means 63%, if you remove Muslims, the minorities, at least 45 to 50% Hindus are not voting for the BJP
sure, sir,
nationally.
That is not the debate today at all. The debate today, you may not agree with that this vote matters, but all analysis seems to suggest, and the Karnataka results seem to suggest, and the Bengal results seem to suggest that the Muslim vote definitely matters. And the reason why we keep referring to it as a Muslim vote, because I'll give you the smallest example. I'll give you the smallest example why we call it the Muslim vote. Because there are actual Muslim organizations who give a call saying that all Muslims should vote in such a manner.
Let me answer.
Now that is a Muslim vote.
No, let me answer.
Okay, everyone wants to respond.
I think it's a very, very important question.
Okay, 10 seconds आप बोलिए, फिर आप बोलिए, 10 seconds.
The issue is the Hindus. I'm not saying the 10% Muslims or the 14% Muslims don't matter. Who will decide the tilt? The tilt will be decided by the Hindus, not by the Muslims. And that's why there's a paradigm shift in the politics of Congress. Why Rahul Gandhi started hopping from one temple to another temple? Why he needs to show his Janev? Why Kamalnath is talking
in the recent past.
why the Kamalnath is talking about Ma Sita ka mandir? Why Bhupesh Baghel is talking about the Kaushalya ka mandir? Why they are talking about Ram Path Gam?
So what's your argument?
Because my argument is they don't want to be seen as a pro-Muslim party.
So
they want to be seen as a pro-Hindu party.
Doesn't matter at all now.
No, matters. But the decisive voters is Hindus, and that's why they want to project themselves as not anti-Hindu party, but pro-Hindu party.
Okay, 10 seconds, Harshvardhan ji, then Siddharth.
सिर्फ 10 सेकंड। मैं पूरी तरह से आशुतोष जी से सहमत हूँ। असली लड़ाई यही है कि मुसलमान वोट पूरा मिल जाए, उसकी चर्चा नहीं हो, और हिंदू वोट बंट कर मिले। यही सच्चाई है, यही कोशिश हुई, और मंडल कमंडल से लेकर आज तक की लड़ाई है। लेकिन मुश्किल क्या हो गई है कि हिंदुओं को यह समझ में आ रहा है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी नरेंद्र मोदी की इस राजनीति की वजह से जो लोग शौचालय से लेकर विश्वविद्यालय तक सब अयोध्या में ही राम जन्मभूमि पर बनाना चाह रहे थे, आज जो करें न्योता हमको क्यों नहीं दिया भाई, न्योता क्यों नहीं दिया, यह समझ में आ रहा है।
Siddharth.
No, first of all, I would want to respond to what my friend from Congress was saying, but I can't resist in replying to Ashutosh ji. Ashutosh ji is saying that the Prime Minister has not mentioned Hamas even once. I think, the understanding of foreign policy or our hatred towards one leader or one party should not come down to a level that we ignore everything and just say anything. Israel had not mentioned Lashkar-e-Taiba in the list of terrorist organizations. That is the reason of a matter of foreign policy. We are not taking the name of Hamas. You want to put it out on national television, you do it. But you don't want to oppose a country, or you don't want to oppose a political party just for the sake of it. For a matter of foreign policy. Now I'll respond to what my friend from Congress was saying. They are saying we are.
Let him finish, because
now
we're
my
not
train of thought
discussing
will be
Hamas.
lost.
We're not discussing
Yeah,
Hamas.
that is not the topic for today.
And I want to go to Mr. Aeijaz.
Yes. Now when it comes down to Hindu, Muslim, all of these parties, they are like hyenas hunting for the Muslim vote. And they then after that want to sound secular. They are the secular parties. They want the 14% Muslim vote, but they are secular. We are not concerned. We are not concerned for any 14%, for any 12%. I'm stating it very clearly. Because we, as a matter of fact, as principally, we believe in what is doing right for the country. If you want to do a iftar party, not a holy party, we'll oppose it. You don't want to vote for us, don't vote for us.
Okay.
If Kanhaiya Lal is murdered, if we oppose it, you don't want to vote for us, don't vote for us. But we will stand for the right. We will stand for Kanhaiya Lals, we will stand for Ratan Lal Sonis, we will stand against any appeasement done by KCR in Telangana, we will stand up for any appeasement done by Mamta in Bengal, by any leader in the country. And we do not care that you are not voting for us, because we are of the principal belief that when the time is right, when our democracy matures even more, then this style of politics will be done. We are a party with a difference. We maintain that.
Oh, I wonder how long that maturity will take. Let me actually, because I really want to come to Professor Aeijaz. The Congress keeps talking about the brand of secularism. That is why people are attracted to us. Let me actually give you a very interesting statistic that in Madhya Pradesh, how many candidates, Muslim candidates, were fielded by the Congress? Kapil Madan, how many?
I don't have data. I'll have to check the data.
2.
How many by
You
BJP?
keep saying that the BJP fields 0. Yes, they fielded 0 in MP.
Yeah.
Congress fielded a
How many in UP?
humongous 2. How many seats are there in Madhya Pradesh?
How many in UP? How many
Sir,
candidates they
Siddharth
fielded?
Yadav just said we don't care. He has said we don't care. You care.
So what Siddharth is saying is that he is unapologetic about, the kind of political discourse they have. The kind of,
Kapil Madan, as a political analyst, we are saying yes, they are.
Yes.
It is no mystery. Of course, they are unapologetic.
Yes.
The question is about the Congress.
So now
you
what is
had
the
the
logic?
chief minister. Hold on a second.
Now
You had the chief minister.
What is the logic even if you're saying 2 candidates have been fielded by them and BJP has not fielded anyone?
What is the difference between you two?
No, but the point is when you fight election on the basis of the fact that who can win. Who can win the seat?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which is why the BJP doesn't give tickets to Muslims.
That proves my point.
But they are beyond the point of caring and they're admitting it.
BJP by...
I never, Padmaja, during the course of my debate, Padmaja, just a minute. Ashutosh, one important point.
Congress is Muslim appeasement. BJP is Hindu appeasement. As simple.
True. But how are you appeasing Muslims when you give 2 of them tickets?
The issue is, out of 10, 8 are Hindus and 2 are Muslims. So the Hindu appeasement will never be a dominant matter of
But
criticism
sir,
for anybody.
my question is very different.
100% you
Okay,
do.
okay.
You will not admit it.
Okay, Professor Aeijaz.
Don't
Okay,
give me for Bharat, not for Hindus.
okay, Professor Aeijaz.
I also live in this country.
Let me add another.
You live in some other country.
Let me add another fact to this also, that you also had the chief minister, or rather the former chief minister in Madhya Pradesh, who also said, when he was asked a question कि सर क्या ये हिंदू राष्ट्र है, धीरेन्द्र शास्त्री तो बोलते हैं हिंदू राष्ट्र है, सर 80% हिंदू है, हिंदू राष्ट्र ही तो है. I mean, your former chief minister, your CM face says Hindu Rashtra hai. 2 tickets you give to Muslims and then you are like, this is a communal party, we are a secular party, all Muslims should vote for us. That is what Akhilesh Yadav is picking up on and saying, don't get into that trap. Professor Aeijaz.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you know, if somebody says that 80% of the population is Hindu and therefore it is Hindu Rashtra, I think one has a very shallow understanding of what Rashtra is, because, you know, Rashtra, Raj or state or nation or whatever has to be defined by the way the constitution is made and the kind of rights which are there.
But do you
one
agree
is
with
there, one is
Ashutoshji's
there. But
analysis?
I would like to respond to Ashutosh is the fact that Muslims are in a way politically irrelevant. That I agree with him. But as numbers, you know, I think we are confused here. Getting elected and electing, these are two things. You know, getting elected is a matter of representation, but getting, you know, somebody to elect is a matter of citizenship, right? So as far as numbers are concerned, in Telangana itself, you know, if 50% of the Muslim population votes for Congress, Congress is through. Take my words, right? Just 50%. Forget about 70%. 80%, but the numbers matters a lot. The fact that in India you have around 14% or 15% of Muslim population, and largely, of course, largely.
So you disagree with the premise that Muslim vote doesn't matter? It does.
No,
numerically it does.
It matters. Number matters. You know, I mean, there are people who are winning for, you know, 2,000 votes or 3,000 votes. So numbers are very important, and it is because the numbers are so important in electoral politics is why this whole canard of appeasement, rhetorics, you know, vote bank. It's very interesting that we always say that Muslims are vote bank. We have never said that Brahmins are vote bank or Rajputs are vote bank. We have always said because Muslims.
We do say that.
No, because Muslims, we consider Muslims as somebody who is very pliable, who votes for any party.
On that name Muslim, you can polarize voters.
And
therefore, they vote on
there is no doubt about it.
So therefore, you polarize.
Absolutely, there is no doubt about it.
What are you saying? They vote on mass.
Shahriyalal issue when the killer, one of the killers is the BJP guy.
With the
One of the
greatest
killers is the BJP guy.
Absolutely.
Do you raise that issue?
No, I mean, let me complete.
What does it have to do with voting patterns?
With appeasement, it leads to polarization, because appeasement is done for the basic purpose of polarization. And with polarization, I'm going with Ashutosh, is polarization both the sides. So on the one hand, you know, BJP trying to polarize to gain Hindu votes, Congress also trying to polarize to gain Muslim votes, and moderate Hindu votes, as much as moderate, not that radical Hindu, you know, they are basically in the fold of BJP. So moderate Hindus can come to Congress, liberal Muslims are there with the Congress. So Congress.
Okay, hold on a second. Everyone wants to respond to this. Ashutosh, just like Harshvardhan Ji and Siddharth, and then Kapil Madan. Yes.
मुझे लगता है कि प्रोफेसर तनवीर ने वो बात कह दी जिसको हम लोग बहुत आसानी से नहीं कह पाते हैं. वो साफ साफ कह रहे हैं, और मैं भी तो यही कह रहा हूँ, हर आदमी कह रहा है कि आप कहते हो मुसलमान है, इधर कहते हो कोई ब्राह्मण है, कोई दलित है, कोई यादव है, कोई राजपूत है, कोई कायस्थ है. आपने मुस्लिम यादव समीकरण बनाया था ना, आपने दलित मुस्लिम समीकरण बनाया था ना, यानी हिंदुओं में काट कर आप राजनीति करते हो तो वो सेकुलर पॉलिटिक्स है, मुसलमानों को जोड़कर करते हो तो वो सेकुलर पॉलिटिक्स है. लेकिन अगर कोई कहे कि हम हिंदुओं को जोड़ना चाहते हैं तो देन देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. आप कहते हैं यू आर कम्युनल. मुझे लगता है असली प्रॉब्लम यही है, और चूंकि नरेंद्र मोदी की राजनीति ने इस पॉपुलर नैरेटिव को ध्वस्त कर दिया है, वो जो दलित था, वो जो यादव था, वो भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ जा रहा है. आप सारे हिंदुओं को जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट करते हैं उनको रेडिकल कर देंगे. ये ठीक नहीं है, ये बहुत गलत है. आप इलेक्टोरेट को आप बार-बार अब्यूज करते हैं, ये ठीक नहीं.
The funny thing is that every single state I have covered elections in always has this one formula. It will be MY, or it will now be the PDA of Akhilesh Yadav, or it will be CAM. But इस सब में एक जो alphabet होता है is always there for the Muslim, whether it is M in CAM, MY in Muslim Yadav, or it is the Alpsankhyak in PDA. So politicians have made them into vote banks. Let's not try and, pass that buck on to analysts or on to journalists. I want to ask one question to Kapil Madan.
Three M's. Meena, Mali and Muslims. There are three M's.
Exactly.
Right?
So you don't say Hindu and Muslim. You will say Meena, Mali and Muslim.
Always made by somebody who is less in number.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, hold on a second. I want to ask Kapil Madan. The interesting argument that was raised over here is that now the Congress increasingly has the confidence that Muslim vote apni jeb mein hai, which largely is the confidence of Arvind Kejriwal in Delhi. So you can have people like Kamal Nath saying, "Arey, ye to Hindu Rashtra hai." He can do puja with Dhirendra Shastri. You can give tickets to 2 Muslims. So much so that Ashok Gehlot for the longest time did not even speak about the killing of Nasir and Junaid. And there are people in the Cong area who are questioning Ashok Gehlot. Why didn't you arrest Monu Manesar? If you knew, the Rajasthan police should have arrested him. Is that the reason why you're confident? You are like, chalo, ab Muslim apni jeb mein hai. Now let's start doing what Ashutosh calls Hindu appeasement.
No, Padmaja, I certainly don't believe that कि ऐसा किसी का भी thought process हो सकता है कि कोई भी particular community किसी की भी जेब में है. This cannot be the political discourse of any party. As I said earlier, the ideology of Congress had been that, it's a secular party. And yes, when they speak against oppression, then yes, there are people who will try to label them. I mean, one of the comment was made here was, as radical, someone may call it as an appeasement. But to my understanding, the issue remains, if there is an oppression of any community, yes, being a secular party, Congress takes a stand against that.
Hey, sir, how much time did it take for the arrest of Monu Manesar for the murder of Nasir and Junaid? Do you know the arrest was eventually done by Haryana police who handed him over to Rajasthan?
Now, Padmaja, my only, then, this Kanhaiya Lal's murder happened in Rajasthan. Is there anything that points out that there was any kind of delay? Rather,
yes.
I mean, there was no delay.
There was a delay.
No, there was no
Kanhaiya Lal
delay.
asked for security.
No. So
his sons are saying he asked for security. He wasn't given security.
Padmaja, if it is in public domain that one of the killer was seen photographed by BJP with BJP functionaries.
Arre, sir,
now this needs
then
to be
all the more reason to arrest him.
Now the problem is, once you need to probe this angle, then you shift the investigation to a different agency which is controlled by the center, because you don't want a deliberation on that. So that's my point number one. Second, my friend here, Siddharth, just a minute. Allow me to make my point.
Just answer this.
How many central universities you want to talk about? You want to talk about welfare? No, you want to talk about welfare schemes done by the Modi government. How many central universities you made in the last 10 years? How many was made in UPA 2? Do you have numbers?
Yes.
Only 10. Give the numbers.
I'll give you.
You give the numbers.
Fine. Again, we are going completely off topic. That wasn't the question at all.
Just a minute. No,
I don't think you are ever going to answer that question.
7 new IITs, 15 new IIMs, 14 new triple ITs, 74 new national institutes of importance. How many
के बारे में भी बात कर दी थी. आप मैं आपकी टिकट बुक करा देता हूँ, अपनी भी करा. हमारे को दिखाओ कि एम्स दरभंगा कहाँ है.
Okay, fine. Again, gentlemen, I think we are going completely off topic. I will give the final word. I think it's quite safe to assume that Kapil Madan is not going to answer the question about how you can claim to be secular and still make comments of the kinds that Kamal Nath has. Final word to you, Gaurav Chachra. क्या regional parties में अब थोड़ा सा apprehension है? Will the BRS, the YSRCP, the TMC, the Samajwadi Party have to look over their shoulder कि एक कांग्रेस पार्टी अब expansion भी करना चाहती है और बहुत clearly is making a play to the Muslim votes?
देखिए, रीजनल पार्टी अपनी अपनी जगह अपने अपने क्षेत्रों में बहुत मजबूती से चुनाव लड़ी भी है. मुझे लगता है कांग्रेस पार्टी को उनको वॉकओवर देना चाहिए कि रीजनल पार्टी जहां जहां है वहां पे वो खुल के चुनाव लड़ें और उसका निश्चित रूप से रिजल्ट सामने आएगा 2024 चुनाव में.
Okay, walkover का तो संभावना है, doesn't seem very bright at this point. And if on the 3rd of December the Congress ends up winning 1, 2 or 3 states, then I wonder what the equations are going to be like. That's going to be the interesting story post December 3. Thanks very much, as always, all gentlemen, for joining me with your wisdom. Thanks for watching.